too. So with room to grow, utilizing innovation in agriculture, please help me in welcoming Kinga Nolan. Do you need a wall? Yeah, is this where? Yeah.
Hello. Oh, it works. Okay, beautiful. All right. Okay, so when I introduce myself, it usually goes like this. Hi, my name's Kinga, and I'm studying agriculture. People are like, you? Agriculture? You didn't grow up on a farm. No, I didn't. I don't drive a truck to school. I've never driven a combine, and I sure as heck have never worn Carhartt overalls. But the reason I'm studying agriculture is because I care about making a change in our world. And I hope all of you guys will too at the end of this presentation. The reason why agriculture matters is because it is one of the biggest growing sectors in our world. And the reason why is because of 8.5 billion people that we need to feed by 2030. We're currently just over like 7 billion people, excuse me. And by 2030, we need to feed all these people. We are already oversubscribed, so many people. How are we gonna be growing food sustainably around the world? And the way we're gonna do this is by working and growing together. We need to utilize STEM and utilize all of you guys in this room to make this possible. By incorporating STEM into agriculture, we're gonna be able to grow food more sustainably, more quickly, and all different types of food as well. So I'm gonna kind of run through a few examples that I've kind of seen in my daily life, through my studies, that kind of thing, that kind of showcases the importance of STEM and kind of how this can be applied and how maybe get you guys thinking of agriculture. Agriculture affects every facet of our lives, from the cotton we wear to the coffee we drink. So let's talk about engineers. I know lots of you guys are engineers in this room. So I was at the Calgary Stampede this summer. I'm also from Calgary, if nobody knew this. And there was a display they had out, and it was like a robotic gardener. And they had the plants set up on the ground, and they had this big robotic arm that went over. And what this robot did is basically was able to plant seeds, it was able to water them, it was able to fertilize, and even tell you when it was ready to harvest. If we kind of incorporate this kind of technologies into our household, we can grow food literally right outside our front door and not have to ship it vast distances to our houses. Let's talk about computer scientists. I know if you guys are computer scientists also in this room. Utilizing drone technology. I met a gentleman in my office about 2 years ago when I was working as a constituency assistant, and he was telling me about all the work that his company was doing with drones in agriculture. They've now been able to create models where the drone goes over top of fields and it's able to kind of like map it out and detect like the health of crops. Where if a big hailstorm comes over and wipes out part of the crop, we're able to see kind of, you know, what the effects of that look like and how we can kind of mitigate damage that way. So this technology is just keeps on improving. Another example would be we're also using AI in combines. The AI in combines is now so precise, it can go between like rows of crops, like of seeds, 1/8 of an inch accuracy. It's pretty incredible. We're also going to talk a little bit about biomedical scientists, so doctors and things like that. This is really important because we're going to talk about alternative food sources. I know lots of you guys probably heard about Beyond Meat, things like that, but one thing that we don't consider is insects. Super important like source of protein. I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, I don't want to eat insects. But anyways, the world is going that way. We do need to feed more people, and that's kind of things we're looking at. By utilizing, doctors, people in biological sciences as well, we can look at, what is the impact of, eating like different things, stuff like that on our diets, and how can we still feed all these people. This is only the beginning. I'm hoping that kind of like the Dean of Engineering was saying this morning, you think big, think of the stars, think of all the things that we can do if we all work together, if we all put our wonderful brains to use and use this to feed the world. So I just hope that, maybe going forward that you guys think about, agriculture isn't just, maybe your neighbor or someone in your family who owns a farm. Agriculture is everywhere. Agriculture is among us. Agriculture is how we live. And I really hope you guys can keep that in mind and maybe consider that when you're looking for jobs, when you're thinking about a career where you want to go into. There's so many jobs, especially out in here in the prairies, and you'd certainly be making a big difference in the world. So together with STEM, we can feed the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kinga. I think we actually, with our timing, we should be okay. If anyone has any questions following the talks, we can definitely throw a few of those out there. So with that in mind, did anyone have any questions? Save them to the end. That's good as well. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think the idea that people can grow like their own food at their house using the robotics is a really neat idea. Do you know of any companies that are optimizing on this idea or this opportunity?
Actually, when I saw this example, it was actually it was a company out of California, and they were showcasing it at the Calgary Stampede, and like the students I were talking to were actually they were students at the U of C, kind of interning with that company. I can't actually remember it off the top of my head, but yeah, there are companies that are putting this to use and hiring engineers as students interns out of U of C. So, what's up?
Maybe not so much as a question, more of like a thought. So, like, growing your own food is obviously something people are interested in doing, but in climates like ours, where certain things don't have like the time, the weather to grow properly, has there been any kind of work done with like community like greenhouses, things like that, maybe, where like it's not so much on an individual level, but like a neighborhood, for example, so like that's something done year round as opposed to just seasons.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's really important. I mean, you see like, kind of green boxes and stuff like that, or gardens in the neighborhood. But I think, using things like greenhouses is super important. Yet kind of keeping that like community aspect in mind, as opposed to just, oh, here's my garden for myself. It's like, well, maybe, our street or our community has a greenhouse because, you look at how far like our food has to travel to get to where we live, especially being in, such a northern climate and all those emissions. And if we can cut down on that, cut down on transportation and, have food literally down the street, I think that's definitely a way forward for sure. Do you have a question?
I've heard a lot about aquaponics, hydroponics, and kind of how there are emerging technologies that are helping bring food to remote communities. Do you have experience kind of with that?
I've definitely heard kind of about that, and kind of like saving space a lot of the time, because basically what aquaponics is you kind of have like these, like one of the common examples is these beautiful pieces of lettuce, and they're kind of like hitched into the walls and stuff like that, and that is used to save a lot of space and things like that. And I think like really we just need to put like so many different ideas together and so many disciplines, and that was just kind of like the thought behind this presentation. Is it's not just people in agriculture, it's people across all disciplines that we need to work together to be able to create solutions like that have never been thought about before. So yeah, absolutely.
What would you see just like the biggest challenge now? Is it actually producing the quantity of food, or is it like transporting food without spoiling, or like?
I think the biggest issue is like kind of like the opportunity cost, because whether that's transportation, whether that's the environmental impact on, because of farming practices, like whatever that looks like. I think there's kind of a wide variety of like areas that need to be addressed. But I think in Canada, the biggest issue for sure is transportation, because we can't grow a lot of it locally. Absolutely. Is that everything? Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it.